Just trying to survive and learn to love along the way. By Foreplay on AO3. Episode 113. Chapter 113. Of Security and an Impending Attack. Shouta doesn't have to go far, just across campus to one of the conference rooms in the school building. He's far from the first person there. Most of the homeroom teachers are already seated, as well as a few heroes who patrol frequently. Everyone looks as troubled, gossiping with their seat neighbors on what this meeting could be about. Shouta never participates in gossip, so he just sits there in silence while the rest of the teachers arrive. As soon as the last one sits down, the door opens once more, revealing a grim-looking Tsukalji with Nezu on his shoulder. Are all your students scheduled to come back today? Tsukalji starts off without a greeting. A few of mine aren't due back until late. Vlad speaks above the murmurs of assessment. Make sure you let us know as soon as each of your last students arrives so we can lock everything up. Everyone nods, quite a few looking grims. I'm sure you all know why you're up here. Tsukalji takes the final seat at the head of the table, while Nezu perches on top of it. All I heard was the new league activity. Not too surprising considering how big their numbers are getting. Snipe doesn't seem too concerned. Right, except this time it's a little worrisome. We got insider information on an upcoming attack. There are not many targets that Tsukalji would bother all these teachers with. They're planning on attacking here. Shouta finishes for him. Is that something we really need to worry about? We got incredible security. A few villains shouldn't be able to break through. The speaker sounded bored enough that Shouta looks over. It's one of the general study teacher. Some of them are disdainful towards the hero course. Didn't you hear Snipe? They've been re-recruiting. And have you not read the file? Most of our security measures will be completely useless in the face of Shigaraki's quirk. The teacher pales, probably regretting speaking up, and getting Shota's attention. I'm sure you all know who the League's main target will be. Shouta ignores the glances in his direction. However, that does not mean that the other classes aren't in danger. I'm sure they've read up on all the students here and plan to make a target out of everyone they deem threatening enough. The rest goes unsaid. If the League of Villains like a quirk enough, they're sure to try and recruit the student into their forces, like they tried with Bakugou. Who's to say they won't try again? We will be implementing Stage 4 security measures. As soon as your class is safe in the dorms, you have my authority to put them into effect. The highest of their security measures. Shouta is sure Nezu has something more up his sleeve that he hasn't told the rest of them. But Stage 4 is the highest they know of, and it really says something about the situation that Nezu is putting it into effect. I split up some of the teachers to give the general studies and support students better protection. There will also be additional pros assigned to your classes. That's fair enough, although Shouta can't say he's pleased that Hizashi will probably be sent to a different class. Unfortunately, not a lot of additional heroes can be spreaded. They'll need to cover your patrols, and those of the heroes will be able to secure for this. Since they have the training, the Hero Corps students will not get as much protection. Shouta wants to protest, but he knows Nezu is right. There are only so many heroes that can be spreaded. His kids have faced off too many villains to count. While he'd like to take credit for their ability to protect themselves, he can't. These kids have pushed through everything the world throws at them on their own. Most heroes don't see him much action until they go pro. But Shouta doubts that previous years have had as many problem children. It's like they're villain magnets. He's surprised that nothing happened while they were all cooped up at their parents' houses. I'll keep an eye out on their movements from the station. I'll send updates to Nezu and he'll radar them to you guys. Hopefully we could do something before they put their plan into action. But be prepared. I have no doubt that these guys will find a way through the defenses. With that grim declaration, Tsukalji leaves the room. Hopefully your students have started arriving by now. Vlad, I want you to see if you can get yours back any sooner. We have no clue when they could attack, so I want them safe as soon as possible. Make sure to keep your comms on. Nezu is just as quick to leave the room. I may have to pick a few of my students up to get them back sooner. Can President Mike keep an eye on my class? Vlad turns to him as he speaks. Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. They'll probably stick him with a general studies class, and who knows when they'll be arriving. I'll send him over when I get back. Vlad nods and pulls out his phone to contact his students. Shouta does his best to ignore the rest of the teachers and hurry his way out of there. He runs into quite a few of his students on his way back to the dorms, and they walk a little faster when they see his urgency. He enters the dorm to find a little over half of his class there, as well as Miriko. She approaches him as soon as she notices him. Hawks asked me to be here in his place. He has a lot more responsibility now that he's the #1 hero, so he can't go off the grid like this. Shouta nods at her. He's seen her work and trusts that she'll do a good job. The young hero was chosen by Hawks to be here, so that's even better. Shouta looks around for his husband and finds him surrounded by kids. And as he tells them some stories of their school days, he waits until a good stopping point to head over and steal him, ignoring the disappointing looks on the kids' faces. I got Nezu's text. He said I'll be helping out 1C instead of here. Sashi is quick to tell him. It can't be helped. Before you head over there, can you supervise Vlad's class for a bit? He needs to pick up some of his students. Sashi nods, and with a quick peck on the cheek, he grabs his bag from the door and heads out. Sensei, what's going on? Kaminari speaks up. He looks most disappointed by Hisashi's departure. I need all of you to go pack your most important things. Ida and Yaoyorozu, come with me to my office. He turns without waiting for his orders to be followed. He knows his class well enough that he'll be sure they'll do what he asked. Sure enough, the two students follow him to his office and enter without saying any questions. Since you guys are the class representatives, I'm giving you each one of these. He drops comm devices into their hands. Myself and Miriko will also have one. They're short range, but they're a good thing in our circumstances. Sensei, why do we need these? He turns back to the door, answering Ida as they go back to the common room. I'll explain the rest when the class is here. Just go pack your things. They both rush to the elevator. Shouta returns to an empty common room. He doesn't bother sitting down in hopes that the rest of his students will arrive and grab their things soon enough. That there's no point. Okay, I'm worried. I'm actually worried, like super worried. Alright guys, so this chapter is leading us into the final arc of this story. It won't be the end. I have several more one-shots planned, a smaller mini chapter fic, and a sequel to this guy. What? There's a sequel to this guy. I didn't know this guy was part of a series. Was this part of a series? Oh my god, yeah, it's part of the Trying series. I forgot that this is part of a series. And there's just a bunch of little one-shots. Oh, I forgot about the one-shots. I'm definitely gonna do the one-shots and all that stuff. Oh, I'm definitely just gonna add on top of this. It's part of the Trying series. Okay, interesting. Okay, so chapter 114 is of basements and bunkers. No one in Class 1A is prepared for the news they got upon returning to their dorms. Okay, this chapter only has a minor mention of past villain encounters. Okay, so interesting. I wonder... Okay, alright. Definitely I do think that this last arc is going to be completely different than what we've seen in canon. It's going to be completely divergent, right? I mean, clearly all of this has already been really divergent from what has happened in canon, and I'm super here for that. I'm super here for, like, new stuff. Like, I am excited. What happened to Eri, though? I need to know. What happened to Eri? Eri, hello? Anyways, as always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.